Okay, this is a common one. Showing up somewhere naked.
I am always showing up somewhere naked in my dreams.
Okay.
Naked and unprepared.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Goddess Hangs.
Episode 86.
Woo! We made it! We created the goddess. Did I do this wrong? I'm Sadie.
And I'm Juliet, obviously.
And we created Goddess Hangs podcast to make the world of mindset, magic, and manifestation more relatable
And fun. We did
Almost
it.
nailed it.
It was perfect. It was perfect in my book.
Episode 86.
We want to welcome all the new listeners.
Yes, welcome. So amazing to have you in our community. We're so excited to get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be shy. We're just thrilled that we're reaching so many new babes. It's so exciting.
I know. Somebody reached out to us. I don't know if you saw this one, but they said, I'm so excited about your podcast. Normal people talking about spirituality. And I was like, do we need to change our tagline? Because
Just those two regular old gals.
two girls next door talking
Chit-chatting.
about spirit. You stick around long enough, you're like, oh, they're not that normal.
Yeah,
but we're
not.
normal enough.
Normal-ish, which is the sweet spot, I think.
Oh my gosh. So welcome to Goddess Hangs. We have a very exciting episode that you will find super relatable today.
I'm really excited. I had a lot of fun learning about this one. I have 3 notebooks today, and I'll explain why later.
Okay.
But before we dive into dreams, Juliet, what's new with you? What you been dreaming about?
What have I been dreaming about? Honestly, wasps stinging me and gigantic houses. And we'll get into some of those
dig into
meanings
that,
later.
yeah.
But I've been having those dreams. If you're watching the video, I dyed my hair this very chocolatey shade of brown, and I feel a little bit like a Disney princess.
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to it. It's kind of fun.
It's really cute.
It's like
really
little Betty Boop moment here.
Ooh, I love that.
Looks a little witchy. You know, tell me in the comments if you like it. If you don't like it, don't tell me.
Don't say anything.
I don't need to know. So that's new. That was exciting. I'm getting better at change is good, change is fun, change is safe. So this was like a little moment of that. I also just spent the last week working. Victor was out of town for 5 days. Irene was out of town. I mean, I talked to Sadie all day long anyways.
Yeah.
But I'm used to talking to those 3 people all day long. And so I had a lot of time. And Sadie and I are building up some amazing stuff for the BizWitch platform. And wow, did I give birth.
Juliet has been in labor and birthed a beautiful,
I've been in labor.
a beautiful baby magic thing we can't wait to share with you very, very soon.
Inspired and built off of a beautiful thing that Sadie labored and birthed a little while ago. So we put our heads and our energies together, and oh my gosh, it was like I just couldn't stop. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't stop. So I did a bunch of working, which was fun, more like creating.
Yeah.
And what else? I did some painting. Oh, and then I started thinking about, I want to get into sewing. I had an interest in that when I was like 14. I made some of my own clothes.
I used to sew a lot.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I should just get some fun fabrics, this, that, and the other. And I'm driving home, last week, and my intuition says, drive down the street, because my street is like treasure central. Like everybody leaves stuff on my street.
Ours too.
And I pulled up to all these boxes, and one of the boxes in particular was filled to the brim with the coolest fabrics.
Oh my gosh.
The cutest, coolest fabrics. And I was like, okay, well, those are mine. And then another box, this is exciting for me, had all these office supplies. So now I have tape refills and staplers and tons of Post-its and highlighters and number 2 pencils and colored pencils. I mean, it was like,
I love office supplies.
I love office
It's
supplies.
back to school right now, by the way.
Oh my God,
I had a
went-
field day at Target. That's one thing new with me, but Target back to school time. best time of the
I
year.
know. My grandpa, he's not here anymore. He used to take me back to school shopping every year. Like through college, he would take me to Office Depot.
Me and my mom always went. So, you know, we both have a sweet memory of someone in spirit who took us back to school shopping.
And he'd say, what do you need? Put it in the cart.
Do you remember those lists? And like well, at least in my town, maybe because we're a small town, but you go to Target and it would just have them all there.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah. You would, it would just have like your school, like there would be a bunch in a row and you'd pick your elementary school. Like they were, the lists were there.
Oh, I love that. No, nothing like that here.
Now I'm like, am I making that up? No, that's
that
definitely
makes sense.
true.
If there
But
was
we only had so many schools. We had like 4 schools. I don't know.
Right.
5 schools maybe.
So, yeah. And then you'd have to go again. You'd have to go twice if it was me, because you'd go before school started and you'd get everything you'd think you need. And then on the first day, they pass out the paper saying what you actually need.
Oh, yeah. That was what was just sitting at Target for us, was the paper.
Yeah, we didn't, our big town did not think about that.
Yeah.
But so I got all these fabrics, all these office supplies, and then the ex-preschool teacher / future mother in me. Did I tell you about this? Oh my gosh. This is going to excite all of 2 people, including me, okay? I found in this 3rd box all of this lakeshore stuff. And I don't know if you know what lakeshore is, but it's the bougiest, best, like if you're a kindergarten teacher and you have lakeshore stuff in your classroom, like, or if you're like a homeschool mommy, which I want to be for at least a few years, and you have that type of stuff in your, like, it's the Gucci of
What is
stuff.
it? Like, what are the items? I've never heard of it.
I stocked up. So it was like, one was this huge box that had, how do I even describe this? It was like little cards categorized by letter. So if you have a kid that's learning to write, they could be like, I want to write the word snake. Okay, they go into the S and they flip, and they see the picture of the snake, and then there's the word snake. And then they want to write the word house. H. And then they go to the H and it like helps them like find
the word. So it's like
word.
hooked on phonics?
Well, that was like one thing. Then there were like math flashcards, fraction flashcards, English. There were all these blocks and bricks and things to make patterns. I cleared out the whole hall closet and I was like, Victor, don't worry about it. And he's like, that's so sweet that you thought to bring those home. There were other things too, but I was like, I'm not going to bring home a stroller. Like, that's a little premature. I mean, if he saw a stroller in the closet, he'd be like, okay, we need to reel it in.
Oh my God.
But I found fabric, office supplies, and tons and tons of, if you ever want to look through a bomb catalog, order the Lakeshore catalog. You'll be like, I want this. This person was obviously a teacher. There were things like for overhead projectors, and I left those. But, that felt really fun. So I wrote down, what's new with me? My hair, I've been working. I had a good street find. And then, I had a sleepover at my parents' house.
Oh, yeah.
Which was really fun because I was getting a little lonely. And I needed a break from all the working I was doing. And so I went over to my parents' house. My sister's out of town, so her room, I don't think she knows, she wouldn't care. Her bed.
If you're listening,
Melanie. Her bed was available, and her bed was in my first childhood room. And there's still on the string where you like pull to turn the light on or off on the ceiling fan, there's still this little bear hanging on it, and that little bear was there from the time I was born. So I was lying in my sister's bed looking up, and I was like, I used to be in this very spot in a crib looking up at that bear. This feels kind of like a rebirth. It was kind of special, and I slept for 12 hours.
Wow.
And I went swimming the next day, and it was beautiful. So that's really all that's new with me, just creating and reminding myself that I can rest and relax, which is, a challenge for me sometimes. And I was and then learning all about what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, this was a fun one to learn about.
Okay, what's new with you?
What's new with me? I had a challenging week last week.
I know.
just lots of different things. Just, I feel like the universe was like, what if we gave Sadie the tower card in every area of her life and just made everything crash and burn? It was just a lot of different emotional interactions with many different people. And okay, great. I got it all over with in 1 week. We can move on. But all good things, all things to get that out and clear the air and move forward with a better understanding of what's going on there and how to move forward. So great. It was just a lot. Mm-hmm. So I was I was completely emotionally drained. But the weekend, I slept a fuck ton. I slept so much. One day I took 2 naps. It was the day that you were like, you're up late working. I was like, well, I took 2 naps today.
I know. Sadie and I were up working together after like 12:30 at night.
Yeah.
I was like,
I never am up that late.
This is new.
But I took 2 naps that day. So that's what happened. Some days you're just like, I can't do it. I'm going to go back to sleep and try waking up again with a fresh start.
Yeah.
But then I went to Target and had a lot of fun at the back to school section.
Ooh, what'd you get?
I actually only got a pencil sharpener.
Oh. I was expecting a longer list. Okay.
I had about 17 things in my arm, and I looked and I was like, Sadie, you have some version of all of these things at home, and you're going to use those up first. They have, I wanted, new colored pencils and new watercolors and new sketch, all this stuff. I was like, you have this at home. It's in a cuter packaging now. I'm a sucker for good packaging,
Yeah.
Real big sucker for that. A good branding packaging situation. So I was actually very proud of myself. I put it all back and I felt very good. But we still got some really fun stuff at Target. I got a lava lamp.
Woo!
It's so funny because Craig and I, we typically do all of our errands together. So, usually when we go to Target, we go together. And so I have to move kind of quickly through, I'll still, look through the clothing and the accessories and stuff, but it's a little bit more fast-paced. Mm-hmm. And we just kind of get things done. So when he's out of town, I like to go to Target just to wander around, as we do. So every time for the past probably 6 months, they've had these lava lamps in this. The spot hasn't changed. They're always next to the Joanne and Chip Gaines section. There's these lava lamps on a shelf. I can tell you right now. And every time, I don't know why, it's only when Craig's gone, I always sit and stare at those lava lamps, and I'm like, I really want one. And for some reason, I just haven't allowed myself to get one. I'm just Our home, I love it. It's got so many plants and art and crystals, but it is full to the brim. Mm-hmm. I just bought disco ball cherries that are gigantic and disco mushrooms. I have too much stuff, but I like it. I'm a what's the word? I'm a maximalist. That's my style of home.
I know, I'm really not a minimalist either.
I love it. I love to have my shelves and my walls jam-packed with cute stuff. But the lava lamp, for some reason, I just kept being like, no, Sadie, you don't need it. But I would sit there for 10 minutes and kind of stop and be like, oh, no, and pull myself back. And then for some reason, I was stocking up on my candles, and it's near the candle section, and Craig and I walked past, and I was like, tell him you want the lava lamp. I was like, babe, what do you think about those lava lamps? He's like, oh, they're so cool. And I was like, do you want to get one? He's like, yeah, babe, go get yourself one. I'll buy it for you.
Aww.
So I finally got my lava lamp, and me and Craig couldn't be more pleased. We love the lava lamp. Every time we turn it on and it's going, we go, babe, look at that lava lamp. We just can't stop talking about it. We just love it.
There's a new member of the family.
We can't get enough. So if you need a little cheering up after an emotionally draining week, go get yourself a lava lamp. That's my lesson of the week.
It's time to send out the announcements.
Sadie and Craig have a new member of the family. We're very excited about the lava lamp and all of the disco fruits and vegetables in our house now. The cherries is actually really funny. They're the size, I know not everyone's watching the video, but they're the size of I don't know, what size would you compare that to? Larger than a baseball, larger than a grapefruit.
They're like small watermelons.
Yeah, like a small watermelon, and it's a pear, right? It's 2 cherries. I thought they were going to be the size of like apples. And I pulled them out of the box and I was like, oh no. But but I was obsessed. I love that they're gigantic. They look absolutely ridiculous, but that's my style, is absolutely ridiculous. I'm very pleased with them. Mm-hmm. I've been reading a ton. I got Gala Darling's new book, Magnetic Mindset, How to Make Love to the Universe to Manifest What You Want, or some shit like that.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait for the highlights.
It is so good. I'm like 2 chapters in. Can't recommend it enough. And it's all things, you know, that like I've learned before. Like, you know, we're really, really passionate about manifestation, but it's nice to learn about it from different people's point of views. You always learn something new, or you get reminded. And something that she drills home, and is her sort of just like her main point, is that it is our job to feel good. That's number one. And that's the fastest way to get what you want, because when you feel good, then you're more open to your intuition. Like, think about it. When you feel crappy, like intuition doesn't come knocking when you don't feel good. Right. And I was just thinking about this, especially for, you know, so many people in our community are, you know, thinking about starting their side hustles or starting their hopefully full-time businesses. And we need this reminder that like, job number 1 is to feel good, and job number 2, okay, maybe arguably it's like our loved ones, but taking care of them and being there for them. But that aside, obviously that's really important. Job number 2 is our business when it comes to like jobs in our life. So that just made me go, oh, like those days that I don't feel good and I'm forcing myself to sit down and get whatever, and most of the time like I'm putting pressure on a timeline for myself when it's like it could wait for tomorrow if I take really good care of my vibration today and figure that shit out. So I'm just sort of like being reminded of this, and really like I already do this, I already have a morning routine, but that's why it's so important that she talks about like how you build up momentum within your day. So like when you first wake up, if there's funky stuff going on in your mind, you need to like change, you need to take care of that immediately. You need to shift that immediately, because it's just this momentum starts to build. So having a morning practice, a morning routine, even if it's just 5 minutes of something that you look forward to and makes you feel good and gets your mind right and your energy right, that sets the tone for the rest of the day. So that's why it's so important to have something in the morning. And it's great to have something in the afternoon and the evening as well. But if there's something, even if it's just like a couple minutes that you can do in the morning that you look forward to, that makes you feel good, makes you feel like yourself, it's just like, it's gonna change your life, because our day is all about momentum. And then we go to sleep, and we're gonna talk about sleep and dreams. And our subconscious is working through problems and is healing us and rejuvenating us. And then we wake up and we're at neutral. Like when we wake up, we're at neutral again. And then we have a new chance to align ourselves with the energy of like the life we want to create. But we only have what's here now. So it's like, we can't wait to feel good. I'll feel good when, like we have to feel good now. And I think like I've noticed this so much, and Craig's going through this a lot too, of like he's got everything that he's been dreaming about for so long. Like he's touring, he's got the, you know, me, he's got cats he loves, he's got this home, and he's really, and you know, the tour is really draining and it's hard, but he's been having these just sort of like, I thought all this stuff was gonna make me happy, and I still feel the same. It's like we have to address where, regardless of where we are and where we're going, we have to address how we feel now, because it's not going to feel better when you get the things that you think you want. Things and accomplishments don't make us feel good. It's the pride in getting there, it's the journey in getting there, but also we have to figure out like why we don't feel good today, and make space and time for that, and like allow ourselves to feel the emotions that we're burying down, because a lot of times we just like hold on to shit and push it down, and that's why we feel bad for like ever and ever, is because we don't like even allow ourselves to address the things. But it's been a really good book. I'm only a couple chapters in, and it's just been so like, oh yeah, like I'm like, I know all these things, but I just feel like it's sort of realigning me with putting meaning back into the routines I already have, and making me go like, oh, this is why I'm doing this, and really appreciating myself more for doing those things, and just making me excited about what we're manifesting and the journey and getting there. Because sometimes you get a little tired and you go, or like we're taking on really big projects and it's like, oh my gosh, are we taking on too much? And you can kind of get, your ego starts telling you stories, and it's like, no, everything we're working on is great. Everything's going to be great. And my job is to feel good. And then when I feel good, I have the energy and the inspiration and the motivation and the productivity and the focus to do all the things I want to do. But number one, I got to feel good.
I just wrote that down. It's our number one job to feel good. I like that.
So that's Gala Darling's new book. I will try to remember to put it in the show notes. I know I always forget when I say that. But it's really great. She's incredible. Love her. Love her vibe.
I'm just going to start writing down like Gala Darling show notes.
Perfect. I know. I always forget when I say
I'm going
I'll
to start
put
just like having a little paper here when we do our pod. Episode 86, we come up with a plan.
System. I've also been reading a book about dragons. I'm almost done with that one.
Dragon tales. Come along to Dragon Land.
I liked a lot of it. I think I talked about it last week. I liked a lot of it, and then I've been getting to the end of it, and I can feel the dragon energy around me rolling their eyes. They're like, this guy thinks he knows so much. I felt that so clearly, because I was getting a little bored with it, because it was just like talking about different clans and like what they look like and their leader's name and whatever. And it was just, I was just like, I kind of had to say like, Sadie, you don't have to read every word of this. You can skip past this part. It's not pertinent to the, it's not what I'm interested in. A lot of the book is really good. And then I just kind of felt this energy of like, yeah, he thinks he knows so much. Very clearly. And I was like, okay, it's okay that I'm skipping past some of this, but that's been fun. And then I'm also reading, I like to have a lot of books on stack. I'm also finally reading Witches, Sluts, Feminists. Have you heard of that book?
Yes.
Can't remember who it's by at this moment. I'm a couple chapters in, and I'll share more about that. I actually want to just, maybe next week I'll bring the book, because I've been underlining a few things, but it's incredibly interesting. And again, it's like things I know, but I'm just like, oh, it's connecting some dots in just the place of a witch, a woman, a slut, a feminist in society. It's really fucking interesting. So I'm excited to share more about that book, but it's also really, really good.
Oof.
It's been reading up a storm.
I'm still reading A Woman's Worth by Marianne Williamson. There's a part, my phone is recording. I posted it to my story. There are some really beautiful gems.
I was going to ask you what that book was, because I'd love to read it.
I will let you borrow it.
You can borrow one of my books too.
Amazing. Not the dragon one.
No, I want you to read the dragon one.
Okay, fine, I'll read the dragon.
No, you don't. You won't. You wouldn't like it.
You know what? Is it one of those books where the entire book is the back of the book?
No,
because that's such a pet peeve of mine. It's like they just say what's on the back of the book inside the book, but in like 4 different ways.
No, I don't like the tone of the author. I like the information.
Is he a little gatekeepery?
Yeah, and he's like, you better take this seriously or there's going to be trouble.
Next time, like it sounds a little theatrical.
It's just... He's kind of douchey. No offense if you're listening. I didn't even say his name or the name of the book. I think it's literally called Dragon's Magic.
Could be any dragon book, any dragon book author.
I don't love the vibe. Maybe a little gatekeepy is the right word. But it has some interesting things in it, and I love dragons, but I wouldn't recommend the book. I wouldn't. If someone came to me and said, Sadie, I would love to know more about dragons, I would say, not this book isn't the one to choose. Try a different one.
But we'll drop an affiliate link below if you'd like.
But buy it now so I get 10 cents.
The Woman's Worth book again, I think she wrote it in like 1990 or 93. Definitely very, very gendered, very much about women. And, you know, it was a kind of a different time for that. But it's really talking about how important it is for us to reawaken like the inner queen, the inner goddess, because we do live in a society, and this isn't much different, where there are beliefs and perspectives about women and expectations about women, and we've sort of been conditioned to turn that queen goddess part of us off, and how important it is for us to just really fully embrace who we are.
Yeah.
And how magic. I mean, it's a beautiful book.
I love that. I can't wait to read it.
It's a good one.
Okay, shall we dive into dreams?
And I'm going to put a note at 27 minutes.
Perfect.
Dreams begin.
Dreams 101.
Dreaming for beginners.
Okay, let me tell you why I have 3 notebooks, because this notebook, I was on the last page, but I couldn't bear to not finish this notebook before I dove into a new one. And then this
And
one.
then the third one.
This one is one night only. I tried to record my dreams this morning. It was like 6 a.m. and I was like, I can't see for shit. I'm blind as a bat, so I don't know if I can read this.
Oh, let me see your writing. Oh.
And I just thought, I don't remember what I wrote, so I thought it might be funny to read it out, because I tried what I learned, but last night, because I was doing this last night. So I one night only tell you how far I got with the dream journal.
A one-night engagement. Sold out.
Big stuff. Well, and then maybe we'll see. Yeah, I don't know if it's boring or interesting. I don't remember, so we'll see. We'll do that at the end.
Okay. How do you want to start? Because I have some flirty facts. Is that what we called it?
Flirty fun facts.
Flirty fun facts.
I have a lot of, I don't know how to, we should have organized this at a time. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages of notes.
From Gaia?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't watch that. I tried to start, this is so funny. I tried to sign up for Gaia, 7-day free trial. Link in our
There's actually really good dream ones on there. Poorly produced, but.
I got, I think, 2 minutes into George Noory Beyond Belief about dreams.
I didn't watch that one.
I turned it off. Okay. I watched something else.
I watched 2 different ones on Gaia. Should I do one and then you tell me some stuff and then I'll do the other one?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I love this for us.
Okay.
And I can't wait to learn. We haven't compared notes. This will be new information for me.
I love seeing what we both come up with. Okay, so the first one, and I remember to write down the names this time, but still didn't write down the title of the thing I watched. So there you go. Search Doris Cohen on Gaia and dreams. I literally searched dreams on Gaia and found these. So the first interview I watched was Doris Cohen, who is a PhD. She's a psychologist, a dream interpreter, a past life regressionist, and she's really, really interesting. She was a clinical psychologist for a long time, and then she very like logical brain, medical, went to a lot of school, and she started hearing these guides in her mind, of course, right? So she started having these spiritual experiences, and she has one guide that she calls her dream guide that is a very specific voice, and some of her other guides just sound more like her own voice in her head. She's explaining this, but her dream guide has taught her a lot about dreams. So here are some things that they were talking about. So she said that every person has between 5 to 10 dreams a night, unless you take like an anti-anxiety or an antidepressant, or you do drugs, that can make your brain not dream. But if you think that you don't dream and you don't have any of those factors, you are dreaming. We all dream, but we just don't all know how to recall our dreams. So some important things to know about dreams is that the language of dreams is not literal. It's symbolic, and this is something to note that's important too when you're meditating or anything that you're doing to tune into your subconscious mind. That's why visualization is so powerful, because our subconscious mind talks or communicates in pictures. It doesn't, I mean, we can say words to it, but it's most attuned to pictures. And so our subconscious is showing us pictures. They're symbolic. They are, I mean, rarely, if ever, literal. So also, it's important to note that the dreamer is always dreaming about themselves. So if I have a dream that you betrayed me, it doesn't mean that you're betraying me. It has something to do with me. So is it that I feel like, I don't even know where I would go with this, but it's not that I'm predicting the future of some betrayal.
Maybe you'll feel like you've betrayed yourself in some way.
Betrayed myself, some sort of insecurity, like, oh, maybe I feel like I'm not doing enough, so you're gonna like leave me. Something like that. It always has to do with me. So if you have a dream, one example they used in this interview, I have something in my eye, was that a woman came to Doris and said, you know, I keep having this dream that my father dies and I'm really scared. And is this a precognitive dream, meaning like a dream that's predicting the future? And she said, well, tell me what's going on with you and your father's relationship right now, because dreams, you're always dreaming about yourself, and it's always going to be related to the most current event happening in your life. Or at least when I say always, it's like almost always. Of course, there can be exceptions if you have some sort of psychic thing happen. And so they ended up figuring out that like her and her dad's relationship was shifting, because she was like kind of like claiming her truth, and that was making her dad a little uncomfortable. So that window of like her dad seeing her as like a child and someone he took care of, that was closing, and they're having this new beginning together. So it's like she's seeing him dying because there's sort of this grief of this new version of their relationship, right? So that's how you can sort of dig in. What does dad represent? And it could even be that dad doesn't even represent dad in that situation. It could be the door closing on something else. So death in a dream is always going to be like crossing a threshold into something new, because that's what death is. It's crossing, it's going through a doorway. This is ended, there's a new beginning. So she talks about precognitive dreams and intuitive dreams. These are actually pretty rare. So most of the time, the vast majority of the time, our dreams are always symbolic and giving us a message about what's going on with us, something we need to know, it's something we need to address, take action on, change. And it's so, both interviews I watched, they drove home, it is how important it is for us to be able to recall our dreams. It's like of wild importance. We are meant to recall our dreams. We are meant to learn from our dreams. We are meant to get information in our dreams. So her advice is, she said, the best thing you can do is record your dreams. Before bed, out loud, say, I remember my dreams clearly, and record them when I wake up. So this is what I did last night. Say that out 3 times, and then immediately when you wake up, record, write whatever is in your awareness, even if you feel like you don't remember your dreams, even if you don't think you're writing down a literal dream, the moment you wake up, just start writing anything that's floating around in your brain. So that's her advice for that. So then they go into talking about the different dream, or the different like states of our brain. So beta is when we are awake, we have beta waves right now in our brain. And then there's the alpha wavelength, which is like when we're meditating, so we're still awake, but we've slowed down the brain waves. And then there's theta, which is light sleep, and delta, which is deep sleep. And we can dream in both theta and delta. And delta, deep sleep, is so important because next notebook. That is where we release human growth hormones, and that's what heals us. So
Wow.
that's why sleep is of like such incredible importance, and it can be so harmful to not fall into deep sleep, is because that's where we heal. So
I think a lot of people put sleep at the bottom of the priority list. We're like but it really should be probably very, very close to the top.
yeah. So she just keeps driving home in this interview, like, you have to record as soon as you wake up. Like, it is of vital importance. And this is what I thought was really interesting. So our brains, they're two-sided, right? And so we have this intuitive side and this logical side. And so Doris, and I can't remember the name of her book she wrote. I think I bought it. Every time I watch a guy, I think I buy a book. But she's basically talking about the two sides of the brain and how to bring the information from one side into the other, basically your subconscious into your awareness. And what's really cool is that females, if you're born a female, you have a thicker corpus callosum, which is the part that connects the two sides of the brain. So most of the time, women tend to be more intuitive, right? And that's because we have an easier access to that side of our brain. We have a thicker corpus callosum.
Wow.
So it's like science that we have easier access to our intuition. Isn't that interesting?
That is.
So males also have that connection, but females have the thicker corpus callosum, so there's a stronger connection. So crazy, right? Okay, so again, your dreams are always relevant to your current life, giving you guidance for right now. So sometimes we have what you call an intuitive dream, which can be like a warning dream. And we wonder if this is like some future thing that's going to happen, but we really need to look at it and go, what is this relevant to my life right now? Not that it's going to literally play out in the future, but how is this relevant right now? Pause and assess your dreams with awe and curiosity. They're not weird. She says, never call your dreams weird.
Oh.
They're meant to be explored. They're meant to be looked at with awe and fascination. You're meant to be curious about your dreams, because they have information there. So then they go into a few common dreams and what they mean. Okay, so have you ever experienced like dreaming of having a disease over and over? This can be a common one. I personally, I don't think I've ever had a dream like that.
I don't think I have.
So dreaming of having a disease over and over is connected to some sort of fear. So it can be afraid of getting sick, or it can be a fear of, you can look in, if it's like a certain body part, a certain disease, you can think about symbolically what that could be connected to, and a fear of something going wrong with that. Do you ever dream about driving in the car?
I've had so many car dreams.
Okay, so are you driving or is someone else driving when you're in the car?
I'm always the one driving.
Okay, so if you dream frequently about being in the car and you are driving, this means you are in charge. You feel in charge of your life, so it's good.
But my brakes never work.
So you feel like
I don't know how to slow down.
In charge. Okay, yeah. Okay, see where we're getting? And then if you're riding in the car in dreams frequently and someone else is driving, it's because you are giving your power away to somebody.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so if you have frequent dreams of in the car, or maybe it's a one-off dream, but someone else is driving, it may not literally be that person in the driver's seat, but you have to examine where you're giving your power away, and it's time to cut that shit out.
It's the word of the decade. It's unprecedented how many dreams I have where I'm driving and I cannot stop the car. I'm pushing the brakes as far as they go.
So it's like, that you're in control, but you feel like you're out of control.
A little bit.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. And then any dreams about death, whether it's you dying or somebody else dying, this is usually connected to either a fear of death, or it can be representative of an ending coming in your life, but not necessarily meaning actual death. And so it's like going through a doorway. And she said, if we set aside our fear of death, we have so much more to live for, so much joy to find in our life. So if you dream about death frequently, it can be about the fear of something ending in your life. And it's time to address that, because death is really just stepping over a threshold into a new beginning. I thought this was interesting because I have a lot of dreams about being pregnant. And this is about pregnancy dreams.
Okay.
So it's not necessary. Every time I tell Craig, I'm like, I had a dream I was pregnant last night. He goes, oh no, does that mean you're pregnant? It obviously never has meant that. But we can have pregnancy dreams when we're ready to create something new, create a new being, a new project, a new version of ourselves, a new aspect of yourself. She says to examine what's uppermost in my waking life, what's most prominent in my life, what's the thing that stands out the most, perhaps bothering me the most. Mm-hmm. If you're having a pregnancy dream, there's a new beginning to be had there. It's time to birth something new there, a new project, a new version, a new way of being. It's always about you. So it's, of course, we can, there might be a time you have a dream about being pregnant and you're pregnant. But if you're having frequent pregnancy dreams, it might be time to examine what you're putting off that you feel called to create, but you haven't been prioritizing it. Your subconscious is really telling you it's time to hit the road. Okay, this is a common one. Showing up somewhere naked.
I am always showing up somewhere naked in my dreams. Naked and unprepared.
Okay, so naked and unprepared. It's about fear of being unprepared.
Oh.
Feeling vulnerable, feeling self-conscious. And you need to look at the context of your everyday life. Where do you feel vulnerable? Where do you feel self-conscious? Where do you feel unprepared? And how can you make yourself feel safe in that situation? So again, she kept saying, whatever is uppermost in your waking life, that's what you're dreaming about. So where do you feel self-conscious? Where do you feel vulnerable? Where do you feel unprepared? And how can you make yourself feel more safe in that situation?
Do you have dreams like this often?
I can't recall having a dream showing up naked.
I'm either naked or I'm trying to go. This one I have constantly. Mm-hmm. I have to go to the bathroom. And
I have that in here.
Okay, here, I'll wait till you tell us about that. That's the next one. Okay.
Well, you tell it because I'll tell you what it means.
Does anybody else have dreams where you have to pee? Mm-hmm. And you go to find a stall, but there's no stalls available, or the door is 2 inches tall, and they're watching, and you can't find a private space or a stall. I mean, I've had dreams where I'm walking down corridors and corridors.
So what do you, when you've had those dreams, like, what do you think it means? Out of curiosity, because I'm going to tell you what Doris Cohen says.
Okay, so on a practical level, I bet it means that I have to pee. But not on that level. I would say, like, looking for privacy, safety. I don't know. Tell us what the expert says.
So, looking for the bathroom dreams. If you have to pee in these dreams, it means you are pissed off and you can't find a place or a setting where it is safe to express your anger.
Whoa, I have this dream
literally
a lot.
Pissed off. Mm-hmm. And then poop.
Oh, hey, our favorite.
If you're having a dream where you have to shit and you can't find a bathroom, it means you need to get rid of shit. You need to get rid of burdens, of toxins, toxic things, people, connections in your life. If you have dreams where you're constipated, it means you're not letting go when you need to let go. If you're having dreams where you're releasing a lot, it means you are letting go. So if you're having a dream where you're just pooping your little life away and having a great time, congratulations, you're letting go. That's my waking life.
That sounds like a fun dream.
I love pooping. Yeah, so that's looking for the bathroom dreams. And then I have one more common dream. going back to a similar place dream. So going back to your childhood home, going back to school, I know Juliet has our old workplace she dreams about.
Yeah, I'm back at my high school once every 6 days.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So this can be going back to how you lived at that time and changing how you used to act then, making a change now. So there might be something that your subconscious is telling you that at this time you acted this way and you're still holding on to this and it's not serving you, and it's like, grow up, it's time to make a change.
Oh, that stings in a good way.
So, common, it can be our childhood homes, it can be school, it can be an old workplace. So there's something that we need to change, that, maybe it's us acting in toxic ways, or, just bad habits or ways of being, whatever it is. But our subconscious is taking us back to this place to be like, remember how it felt to be here, and take responsibility for the part you played in that and what needs to change. And you need to make that change now in your waking life. Really interesting, right? And then also, sometimes we go back to a place again and again, but it's not from our past. It's not a real place.
I've had this happen too.
Okay, so
I have little go-to locations. Where am I?
You dream a lot. I don't remember. That's why I'm.
I dream every night.
Yeah,
but we'll talk more about that.
So they're using a house as an example. So let's say you keep going back to this house and it's a rundown house. It means that you need to do something about how you're living in your everyday life. And if you're going again and again back to like a nice house, a nice place, there's more to discover. So it's time to explore yourself, get curious, dive into your self-exploration journey, your spiritual journey. And to wrap up this interview, she just says, all dreams are useful. There's always something in there for us to discover, to learn about ourselves. And while we sleep, our subconscious is working on our life. So, that old saying, like, sleep on it. When you have a big decision to make, sleep on it and let me know tomorrow.
Literal.
It's literal. Our subconscious is going to work through. It's going to work through the possibilities, the timelines, the pros and cons. And we're not aware of any of this, but sometimes we wake up and we really feel this sense of clarity. Like, we did that. It's our subconscious mind. So our dreams are so important. Our sleep is so important. And that was interview number 1 with Doris Cohen, who was a delight to listen to.
Oh my gosh, I really enjoyed that. I have a few common dreams I can add with their meanings, and then some statistics, because I love that.
We love it.
And then I have some other stuff too. But let's get into some more common dreams. So I am obsessed now knowing that when I dream that I have to go to the bathroom, and I can't find a private place to do that.
You need to get angry.
I've got some sacred rage that needs to come forward. Okay. So these are just a couple that I sort of knew before looking up all these things, but anytime we dream about water, it represents our emotions. So if you are, in an ocean and you feel like you're drowning and the waves are crashing over you, if you are in a beautiful pool of water, take note when you wake up, how has your emotional state been lately? The water in our dreams can tell us a lot about how we're really truly feeling inside. And I just thought that's a really beautiful thing to share.
Yeah.
And then typically when we dream about like a home or a building, it's representing us and the different rooms and pieces within us. So, it's like when you go, I should have looked this up again, but it's like when you go into the basement, you're accessing one part of yourself, and the attic is like your subconscious. Like, there's different rooms that represent different things. So notice, if you are dreaming, what rooms are you spending time in? What does the house look like? What does it feel like? Last night I dreamt that I moved from one house that I was living in my dream reality, to this house that was gigantic, had a tennis court, had the biggest swimming pool I've ever seen, overlooked the ocean.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. And I was like, I get to live here? And then I woke up. I think we have some new magic on the way.
I think so.
Because I don't usually have a
I can't
dream
wait
like
to
that.
tell you what my dreams are like.
Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, and you were also
Not like that.
You were also in my dream because somebody came in and wanted to take a chunk of our business, like a percentage of our business. And I fought so hard. I was like, no, Sadie gets 50% and I get 50%. You don't get to come in here. I mean, I was like tearing this person apart that they thought they got to get like, you know, a big percentage for this like little thing that they were going to offer in exchange. So anyways, wheeling and dealing in the sleep. What are you going to do? Okay.
Per usual.
Do you ever dream that you are lost or trapped?
See, my dreams have no timeline. They're so crazy and jumbled. So I couldn't tell you because it's like, this is happening, this is happening, and this is happening, and this is happening again, and then over here, and I don't know how they even go together, and there's no timeline. So I don't know. It's like so hard for me to explain a dream.
So
I don't think I've been lost in a dream is my answer.
Okay. I have a lot of dreams where, I realized how basic I was when I did all this research. I was like, oh, I have all these dreams. So this one means you're unsure about what step to take next. It's just every dream is a metaphor. Every dream is a message. Okay, next. Missed opportunities. Oh no, I missed the airplane. I missed the bus. I'm late. There's a performance. I have this one a lot too, where I have to go on stage and I don't know the lines. I don't know the songs.
Oh, I have had that.
But my family's in the audience and the ensemble is counting on me. And I'm trying to learn lines backstage really quickly.
I've had that one for dance.
So this is anxieties and or regrets about not going after what you truly want. Isn't that interesting? So it's like, it's so sweet that our subconscious knows what we need, who we are, what we want, and this is kind of the only way it can communicate with us.
Yeah.
It's kind of the only way. I mean, when else is our subconscious actively delivering
front and center attention? Yeah.
So keep that in mind. I had car troubles. If you are unprepared for a test, like if you're going to take a test and you fail the test, that's a common dream.
Yeah.
It means you're feeling tested in real life. Some of these, once you say them out loud, are like, of course, that's what that means. Do you ever dream that you're being chased?
No.
Okay, these are rhetorical questions at this point.
I don't dream about anything. I don't dream. My dreams I've never, all of these, I'm like, I've never dreamed of any of these common dreams. Mine are so fucked up and weird. Not scary fucked up. They just don't make any sense.
I'm so excited for the one night only reading.
I don't think it's going to sound exciting. It's just really, you're like, what?
Okay, so if you do dream about being chased, I'm just going to circle back to how the audience may be feeling. Okay. It means you're running away from a situation or emotion. So what might you be running away from?
I'm surprised I don't have more dreams like that. I run away from a lot of emotions. Maybe I am dreaming about that. I just don't recall them.
We'll see. We'll see what last night held for you. Okay, here's one. I get this one not so much anymore, but I used to get this one a lot. Teeth falling out, teeth crumbling, tooth decay. So there is some superstition about when you dream about teeth falling out, there's a superstition that it means somebody's going to die. But don't think into that one too deeply, because what it actually means is you're feeling insecure or not good enough. I mean, think about our teeth. Our smile is such a point of like attraction and beauty and confidence just in us. Like if we are losing... Have you seen those ads where it's like the person is missing a tooth and an eyebrow, but what you notice is the tooth missing? And they say, it's like, do you need your tooth replaced? Yes, because you didn't even notice the eyebrow was missing. I don't know if you've seen that ad. Of course, all smiles are beautiful, but it is like a security thing.
So that's one of the very few recurring dreams I do have, but I know that one now. That one I get when I am feeling stressed about money.
Oh.
It's very specific to money for me. Always money. If I'm
That's interesting.
had a big expense come up, or I'm, when I like had, I could barely make rent this month, whatever that was, like I always dreamt about all my teeth falling out. It was always connected to money for me.
So, okay, there's a couple more things I want to share, and then we'll popcorn back over to you. So let's do some statistics. Flirty fact, fairy fun.
Ding!
We will dot the I.
Here's Tinkerbell.
Bing, which never happened. Okay. 98% of people dream about people that they know. And like Sadie said, they represent aspects of your personality, of your life. They reflect your traits. It's never about that other person. Maybe rarely.
Yeah.
Okay. 92% of people dream about peeing or needing to pee. Sadie's in the 8%.
I have had dreams where I peed the bed. But like let's share something special about Sadie. I peed the bed until I was pretty old because
How old?
because I had a problem with my bladder that I had to get surgery for, and then after the surgery I couldn't tell when I had to pee either, so I continued to pee the bed for a while until I was like 10.
Oh.
But then I think I was so self-conscious about that. I was old enough where like I would get up and do all the cleaning myself and stuff. Like it was a medical thing. It was a birth defect I had, and then it got fixed, and I still couldn't tell. I didn't feel the sense of urgency for a while.
Little baby.
So then I think I had those dreams that when I was little, I would have a dream that I was peeing the bed, and then I'd wake up and I had indeed peed the bed. And then as I got older, I haven't had one in a while, but I'll still have that dream, and I always am like, I for sure peed the bed, but I haven't. I have not peed the bed in my adult life.
I don't think I have. I had a while where I was drooling.
I've been drooling lately, actually.
It's been a good chunk of time where I'd wake up like, oh my God.
I've been drooling lately. I wonder what that means. It's a new thing for me. I'm like, God, what is going on? I don't know. Anyone know what drooling means?
So leave a comment.
In real life, not in my dreams.
Okay. So that I was going down this list. It was like 85% of people dream about kissing a crush, all these things. Okay. This one I liked. 12% of people dream about being in bed with a coworker. And you know what it means?
What?
It just means you appreciate them. I don't know how scientific.
Also, where are they getting these numbers? How many people? Hilarious.
Girl, this
12% of people.
12% of people. It's so funny when they get these statistics, because what did you survey, like 200 people?
Yeah.
Okay, this one, the next most popular dream, and I was like, no way. 11.6% of people dream about missing a foot.
Oh.
Have you dreamt about missing a foot? If you're out there listening, I have certainly not had this dream.
I don't think I've dreamt about missing any limb or anything. I don't think so. I've dreamt about getting injured though.
Oh, but this one means you're having trouble. You're having trouble talking. You're having trouble staying on path.
Oh.
You're dreaming that you're missing a foot. Let us know if that's a common dream. There's some information I can share about lucid dreaming, and there's just some fun facts about dreaming. So let's go back to you.
Okay.
Go into notebook number 8 and tell us some more information.
Okay, so the next interview I watched was interviewing a gentleman named Robert Moss, and he's a professor. He studies sleep and dreams, and he was a very interesting guy. So it was funny because some things were very different between Doris and Robert in their beliefs about dreams. Doris was very, very like, no, it is never about anything but yourself. And Robert's like, oh, you can travel different dimensions and talk to different beings and entities. And it's just a very different vibe. And I think that the truth is probably somewhere in between, right? So Robert is really passionate about dreaming. And he says that and this is touching on lucid dreaming, but he also talks about active dreaming, which is also daydreaming.
Oh.
And he's really passionate about dreams, having fun with your dreams being fun. And he's actually not even talking about using it as a manifestation method, which is like what I would think of, like, oh, I can like actively dream, I can daydream about my dream house. But he's like, oh, I love to daydream about this giant, he had a name for it, this giant bird coming down and letting me borrow his wings and going for a fly. Like, Robert's having a good time.
Wow,
in daydream.
Robert.
I thought it was pretty cute. But he says we can lucid dream while awake, and that can also, if we practice active dreaming, meaning daydreaming, that can help us lucid dream while we're asleep if we would like. And he says that people have a misconception about lucid dreaming. It's not about controlling your dreams or manipulating your dreams. We don't want to do that. It's about consciously navigating your dreams and having fun. So you're not changing them, you're not controlling, but you're navigating your dreams in a conscious way. So he talks about the hypnagogic / liminal state, which is that in-between state. Now, I'm very familiar with this state. This is where I've had many a night terror. That in-between state where you're not asleep, you're not awake. You might have experienced that point when you're falling asleep and you feel like you're falling and you jerk awake. It's like that's the liminal state. So this is where you can learn to stay lucid. This is the part. So as you are falling asleep, you can start active dreaming, choosing your dream, and then as you fall asleep, you practice sort of staying aware in that dream, and that will carry you into a lucid dream. And he says this liminal hypnagogic state is a portal area. It's a threshold between dimensions. So we can practice being psychically aware. And this will help us with recalling. It can help us explore other dimensions, meet interesting energies that can support us on our journeys. So Robert he goes and he travels around the world studying different cultures, the indigenous roots of those areas, ancient cultures, and so many of these cultures that if you look at how to interpret the name they have for dreams, they mean things like flight of the soul, journey of the soul. So ancient cultures and indigenous cultures really view dreams as this journey, this flight, wow, this path that we're going down each night. And when we are dreaming, we are outside space and time. We are in a multidimensional space. This is what Robert says. So what are we doing? He has four things that we're doing. So ancient cultures, he kept driving this home, and Doris really was too, saying how essential recalling our dreams was, and ancient cultures deemed dreaming as essential. Like if you're not dreaming, like you need to go to the shaman and get looked at, and you need to start dreaming again. It's that serious. Like it's really important to dream. And so he said there's four main things that we do in our dreams. One is that, and this is very different from what Dora said, but he said, one, we see the future or a memory of the future, because we're outside time and space. So it can be us, a future version of ourselves, showing us a memory.
Well, I like that idea with that house I saw.
Yes. But we have to remember still that these can be very symbolic. So we might be seeing a memory of the future, but it might not be literal. But sometimes we're seeing the future because ourselves want us to see, and if we don't like what we see, we have the power to change it. So this is why it's important to dream, because if needed, your future self will show you what's up, and you can go, oh, I don't like that, it's time to make a change. 2, dreaming is medicine. See your dreams as signs of what your body is going through. So you need to express anger. You need to make a change. It can be very literal. There's an example of a woman who kept like dreaming of this orange and yellow couch over and over and over again. And then I don't know the journey of how she got there, but she realized she was deficient in vitamin A and she should be eating a lot of peaches, which are yellow and orange. So her subconscious mind had a very strange way, but it was her body saying, I need vitamin A, and you find that in peaches.
Interesting.
So dreaming is medicine, and dreams can tell us what medicines we need. The third thing we are doing in our dreams is that we are being put in touch, and I loved, Robert kept saying, every time he always said God or goddess. He never just said God. He always said, putting us in touch with God or goddess.
Robert, come on the show.
Yeah, shout out Robert. Or wiser beings, members of our spirit team, our higher self. So that's another reason we dream, is to be put in touch with God, goddess, universe, higher self, wiser beings, our spirit team. And then the fourth thing we do in our dream is that we are shown what our soul wants so we can honor it, so we can take action on it, so we can move towards that. So you know that you want a giant house with a tennis court and an ocean view.
Sure.
So he says it's really, really important to remember dreams, both of them. So that's why I was like, finally, I know I should have been doing it. I'm starting my dream journal. I'm recalling this shit. So also I loved his words. He said, set the juicy intention.
Robert.
He said juicy.
Robert.
So this is how you remember your dreams. Set the juicy intention. Write something down, letting your mind and universe know this is important. So just like Doris said, when you wake up, just write something. Even if you don't think you're writing a story of what a dream was, just so that you will get more and more used to, and your mind and your body and the universe will know, oh, this person is making dreams important to them. So let's support that intention. And he says that it can be really, really important and supportive to share your dreams with somebody, because this will mobilize you to remember. So, you know, maybe me and Juliet will send a voice note to each other each morning and say, this is what I dreamt about last night. And it gives me like, oh, I need to remember this because there's a reason. I share it with you.
And if you're in our BFF Patreon,
we have a dream chat.
We have a dream chat. You can pop in and share your dreams. Keep yourself accountable. We all like seeing what we're dreaming about.
Yeah, the dream chat has been really fun and kind of inspired this episode. So Robert, he travels around the world hosting these workshops to help people start dreaming, remember their dreams, and learn from their dreams. And he has what he calls the lightning dream work process. Are you ready?
Is it juicy?
It's juicy.
Yes, I'm ready.
So, step 1, dreamer tells dream as a story to someone who gives undivided attention, and you encourage each other to find your voice. So step 1 of this process is that I would do my best to tell it as a story. For me personally, my dreams are all over the place. It's really hard to make sense of it as a story, but it would help. That's part of the process of like me learning to organize those things and create a story out of it. And you would go, wow, that sounds so interesting. You would really encourage me.
Okay, I could do that.
And then we would ask each other a few basic questions about our dreams. So we want to get inquisitive. We want to help each other start thinking about what could this mean.
Okay, write this down, everybody.
So, what are your feelings around the dream? What relevance does this have to your waking life? And could any of this happen literally or symbolically? Tell each other, and this is important to word it this way because we never want to say, oh, well, I think it means this. We want to say it like this. If it were my life, this is what I would think about. So if you told me a dream about seeing this big house that you had a dream about, I wouldn't say, oh, I think it means this. I should say, if I had that dream or if it were my life, I would think about this. So that
That feels so much better. Just with anything.
We should never ever tell somebody else what their dreams mean. He said that's really, really important because we have to discover it for ourselves. And no matter how close you are with someone, they don't know everything about your waking life. They don't know all of the emotions and pain points you have. So they don't have the full picture to understand fully what that dream could mean, even if they think they do. So it's about offering another point of view to think about, but not suggesting that it means this, if that makes sense. And then the final step in the lightning dream work process is to take action. So this could be researching what something means. If you're like, I keep dreaming about this specific animal or whatever, you could look up what it means symbolically. The action might be placing a boundary because you realize that it's pertaining to a certain relationship or place or habit, making a change, etc. And I liked this action idea. He said you could turn it into art. Oh. That can be your action, is turn your dreams into art. And I've done that with meditations before, but I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of fun. I think I'll see what's in that dream journal and maybe I'll turn it into art. And he says every dream is worth a look. Doris said the same thing. Every dream is worth a look. They may have mundane meanings, but there's something in there. And let's see. Finally, I thought this was really interesting. So the interviewer said, what about having repetitive dreams, but there's progression in the repetitive dreams? So maybe you have this repetitive dream that you're, I don't know why this example is coming up, but building a boat. And then maybe it's years and years that you're having this repetitive dream every so often, but every time you come back to that dream, you've made progress in the dream.
Yeah, I have that a lot.
Okay, so he says this could be your life within parallel dimensions. So you're visiting yourself, living a real full life. You're experiencing that because there's a progression to it, right?
Yeah.
Like you're doing something's being accomplished or, maybe taken apart or whatever it is. But if you're coming back to this time and space, but things are changing, you could be visiting another life. And he had an example that he goes back, he has a repetitive dream about a version of himself that is living in occupied Europe during World War II. And he believes that that life is, because it's outside of space and time, and he believes that life is happening concurrently with the life he's having now, and he simply dreams and sort of enters that version of himself living that life. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like peeking into a past life, but because we know that, while we're in our bodies in the earthly realm, we experience our time as linearly, that in the grand scheme of the universe, that is not the case. So all our lives are kind of happening at once, and they're not happening at all, kind of. But if you have repetitive dreams that have a progression in them, that you're growing up in them or whatever, you might just be visiting another one of your lives in a parallel universe. I thought that was cool. And dreams show us how to bring back more of ourselves. I thought that was a sweet thing he said. And he said so his final tip for how to retrieve your dreams, if you feel like you haven't been dreaming and you want more of your dreams, he does this visualization. So it's like going into a meditation, and you can make it your own, but he likes to dream about going into like a video store, or you could go into like a library or anywhere where there would be like a catalog of a lot of things.
A video store.
Yes.
For our young listeners, there used to be a place called Blockbuster.
Maybe a library is or the bookstore. And he visualizes himself going in and seeing all the different genres and categories and pulling one out and experiencing that dream. And that's his way to recall dreams that maybe in the past he hadn't recalled. So finally, I love this so much because we talk about this all of the time.
Okay.
The age-old question, whether it's about dreams or listening to your intuition or receiving psychic messages, what if I'm making it all up?
What if?
So he's talking about imagination here. And we can get caught up in like, well, what if it's just my imagination running wild? And again, this is someone who has studied ancient cultures, indigenous cultures, very passionate about that. And he says, really, truly, what shamans are masters of imagination. And the stronger the imagination, the less imaginary the results. So your imagination is a tool. It's something that we have, and it has a purpose. It's meant to guide us, to lead us, to show us what we want. And I loved that quote. The stronger the imagination, the less imaginary the results. So making it up is not a bad thing. It's actually kind of the point.
Right. We're supposed to create meaning and make our visions and our dreams a reality, and it requires an imagination.
Right. Like if I think I'm receiving psychic messages to do something specific and it has a positive outcome, who fucking cares if it was my own brain giving me these psychic messages, right? Like it got me somewhere positive. So that's kind of the fucking point, right? We should actually be learning to make it up. That's what this is actually about, is learning to make it up and making it work in your favor. Make a vision of possibility. So instead of feeling sorry for ourselves when things don't go our way, we can use dreams, active dreaming, daydreaming as a way to sit there and have fun imagining, like, well, this is my new reality, but what's possible from here? What's the best case scenario from here? What's the juicy outcome that would make me feel amazing? So give yourself permission to dream and make things up. I give myself permission to make things up. I think that's really important. And he said, really, his life work is all about helping people find your child of wonder. Because when we were little, our imaginations, I mean, we would play in the sandbox, but we really truly felt like we were, you know, in the desert, on a journey, and we discovered the oasis and we were gonna save the caravan or whatever it was. We really felt it. We were in it, and we lose our connection to that. But that is a really big gift, and it really helps us create and manifest our dream lives. So it's really, really incredibly important. So again, he repeated, ancient cultures prioritize dreaming. It's highly important to our spiritual and healing journey. So that's my dream research, and I'm so inspired by it. And I'm like, shit, girl, you got to remember more of your dreams now.
I was very inspired and moved by that. Oh my gosh. Well, in the remaining 10 or so minutes of our program, I'll just share a few more little factoids. So I wanted to circle back to lucid dreaming. And there were a number of tips, like keeping a dream journal, auto-suggestion, telling yourself, tonight I will remember my dreams, I'll be aware in my dreams, all these things.
Ooh, I'm getting a download. We're going to go dream after this?
Oh, excuse me. But I think the best tip, and when I was in a season of, I want to lucid dream all the time, okay? This is the best tip. The best tip and trick, if you want to be a lucid dreamer, this is what you need to do. Go through your day and say, am I dreaming? Am I dreaming? And look around. Okay, right now, am I dreaming? No. In 20 minutes, am I dreaming? No. You get in the habit of asking yourself this question. So then while you're dreaming, and I've done this many a times, you go, am I dreaming? And you look around and you think, yeah, there's a boat in the sky. I'm definitely not awake. That is the trick. That is the secret. Now, when that happens, sometimes you can get very excited. And there's a trick to stay in the dream. And I've done this too, and people have talked about this. When you realize that you're lucid dreaming and you start to get a little too excited, start spinning around in your dream. Just start spinning and twirling and spinning and twirling, and you'll because you'll feel yourself starting to come out of it, and you start spinning and you come right back in.
Centrifugal force.
Yeah. So ask yourself those questions and spin and spin and spin. Spin and turn while the candles burn. Hey, that's a Hanukkah thing. So, am I dreaming? Spinning. It also said, invest in a good sleep mask. I'm not sure how that helps, but it said that. When I lucid dream, I'm a little minx. The second I realize I'm sleeping, I go, oh, who could I make out with?
That is hilarious.
Every time.
Who do you make out with?
Literally anybody. I'm like, who's nearby? Who wants to hook up? You guys, this is a dream and I'm asleep. We can do it. Nobody's going to there are no STDs in this realm. Nobody's pregnant. I'm not betraying anybody.
I love that.
Yeah, that's my lucid. Or I will decide that it's time to start flying because I'm an excellent flyer in my lucid dream. So I'm either soaring high, literally, or getting down. I'm getting high or getting down. Okay. All right. So that's my little lucid dream 101. This is just a little collection of interesting facts. So in an average lifespan, we spend 6 years of our lives dreaming.
Wow.
That's a long time. I mean, imagine something you dedicate 6 years to.
Oh,
that matters.
That.
Yeah, it matters. Our minds are more active during sleep than when we're awake.
Wow.
Our body rests, our body recharges, but our brain is actually much more active while we sleep because our subconscious is doing the work of processing and interpreting and making meaning of everything we went through that day. It has a moment to breathe because the conscious mind shuts off. Like, that surprised me. All dreaming happens in the subconscious. This I've heard before, and when I heard it again, it was still wild to me. So, you know, in your dreams, when you see strangers and you don't know who these people are, your subconscious can only recall, it cannot create. So every single face you've ever seen in a dream is a face you've seen before.
Yep, I remember learning that. Yeah, crazy.
Right? Because I'm like, I don't know who these people are. And I have an incredible memory for faces.
Yeah.
I will meet somebody one time at a sleepover when I'm 6, and I'll recognize them 26 years later. I mean, it's...
an interesting thing happens in my dreams that, like, the people... I know that someone is someone in my dream, but they look like somebody else. Like, it'll be like, that's Craig, but it doesn't... It's a different person.
That's common. That happens to me too.
Yeah, always. People are never lined up right.
There was also some mention of you cannot read in your dreams because it's a conscious activity. So you're probably not going to have a dream where you're reading a book or you're like reading a long sign. So that was interesting. Also, we've collectively been reading for about 5,000 years. Now, that's an interesting number because people in ancient here and there maybe were reading in their own way. So I'm not going to take that. I don't know if that's actually accurate, but reading in general compared to the amount of time that we've been a species is newer. So our subconscious isn't really reading. That's like not part of our...
And the original reading was like symbolic
Yes.
pictures and things.
Yes. It also said you can't see yourself in a mirror, and I don't think I've had a dream where I look in a mirror.
Oh, that's creepy. Why not?
It just said you would like become blurry. I don't know.
Weird.
And it's difficult to read a clock. This one, the one that I've had is I'm trying to dial 911. I'm trying to dial a phone number and I can't get it correct. So I've had this happen to me. Let us know if this has happened to you. This fact I just thought was funny. It said, men and women dream differently. Men dream about weapons and aggression. I was like, was this written a zillion years ago? Whereas women dream about clothes and emotions.
Well, they nailed me there. No.
And it said about 50% of our dreams are quote unquote negative. So we have some really positive, fun dreams. We have some negative dreams. Don't let that lead you to believe that you're dreaming incorrectly or you can't have a good dream. Like, all of our dreams are kind of half and half. Then I wrote down something about the fascination about premonition dreams and how there were 19 verified accounts of people who dreamt that the Titanic was going to sink before it sank.
There's tons and tons of dreams before 9/11 as well. Yeah.
I wrote that one. And also Abe Lincoln dreamt that he would be assassinated.
Wow.
He sort of felt that one coming. Then I learned that some people dream in black and white and some people dream in color. And I dream in vivid color. Is that how you dream?
Yeah.
So I've heard people say they dream in black and white. And they did some studies, and basically, and it makes total sense, if you grew up in an era where you watched black and white movies, black and white television, it's usually older people who dream in black and white, because that's how they see stories unfold. That's how they grew up seeing stories unfold. We grew up in a world where everything was in color.
Yeah.
So we're going to dream that way.
Interesting. So eventually, like, no one will dream in black and white.
Probably. And then one of the last things I wrote down was that dreams help us with our creativity. And here were some dream ideas. The person who came up with Google, that came to them in a dream. The periodic table of elements showed up in a dream. The sewing machine was dreamt about, literally, before it was created. The DNA double helix. So scientists and inventors and, you know, mathematicians, creators, things are coming in through
Their subconscious is
dreams.
solving things and giving them information. That's so cool.
Which I love. And then, what's this? Moving, protecting us. I don't know what this means. Oh, that was my dream last night. The tennis and the 50-50 ownership. And I just wrote down a couple dreams that I had that were interesting over time, but not that interesting. I would rather hear in these concluding moments, I want to hear what your dream was last night.
I don't think this is going to make any sense or be particularly interesting. I remember my dreams with clarity before bed.
Great.
Basketball game, losing. Wandering around parking garage. Other coach, 100 question mark. I think they were 100 years old.
Oh, okay.
Kind of remember that. Mess. Don't be mad flying back to Wisconsin. High school? School playing basketball. I was playing basketball in and out of this dream, and then I was in a parking garage and then playing basketball again. Okay, and then, yeah, we kept arguing over the points. We were like, no, there's like a lot of conflict in this game. And then I was going to my natural doctor, take these, move, don't be trapped in your body. Okay, been moving a lot. Craig went home with me to Wisconsin, which he doesn't really do. I'm gonna skip that part. And then I kept hearing the word
What?
calisthenics. What does that mean?
Calisthenics?
Yeah.
Isn't it like exercise related?
Yeah, I've been exercising a lot, but I kept hearing that word calisthenics.
Okay.
Like, whatever.
Okay.
And then I went to go see the neighbors across the way, and Craig keeps wanting me to go over to these neighbors. This is a real thing, so I was dreamt that I went.
Okay.
I haven't gone yet. I haven't been feeling social whenever he asks me. I'm like, just got home from working out or something, you know? So I went over there, and the girl said she wants a house and to get pregnant, and I was like, oh my god, me too. This is in the dream. I mean, it's true though, about me, not about this girl. And then she said she said, oh, I use a wheelchair when I get home because I'm so tired after work all day. I don't know why this is in my dream. And then I wrote, ringing in my left ear this morning. During the basketball game, a girl's eyes hurt and she had sunglasses on and was closing her eyes. What do we think that means, everybody?
Ooh.
There's like a lot of stuff about the body that I kept getting. My body feels good and strong, and I've been taking really good care of myself. So I don't think it's like that. I think I need to be doing a better job, which was my first thought.
So if this were my life, what I would think about is the theme of basketball.
Yeah.
And it's a very specific sport in that it's about bouncing back. It's a fast-paced game. Things are moving quickly. Is there
When we were arguing over there was a lot of conflict, like about the points and who was winning, and we were losing, and then it was like that should have been our point. So maybe I feel like energy in my life needs to change around a bit or something.
Right, maybe like not getting credit for something you know you did.
Yeah.
I wonder.
That was
Fascinating.
night 1. Oh, there's more about also here.
Oh.
Oh, I also woke up in my dream. I woke up and there was so much drool. That's all that says.
Okay.
I wrote so much drool. And that's night 1 of the dream journal. I'll keep you all updated.
Okay. All
Let
right.
me know if you've
Basketball.
got thoughts about that. It's just so like my dreams are never it happened like this. It's always like all over the place. I don't know. There's so much stuff in between the basketball game, but it kept coming back to the basketball game.
Mine kind of move in weird loops too.
Yeah, so they're hard to explain, but there we go. I guess I'm gonna go shoot some hoops or something.
Oh my gosh. Drop a comment. Tell us what your most common reoccurring dream is. I'm dying to know. I know Sadie is too.
Yes.
And maybe any ideas about what this basketball dream could mean for Sadie?
I'd love to hear your thoughts. Remember to say, if it were my life.
Yeah, if it were my life, what I would think about is
I loved this episode. I learned so much. I can't wait to put some of these things into practice and pay more attention to my dreams. I hope you feel excited about your dreams too. Check out our Patreon. It's just about to be the beginning of the month, which is the perfect time to join. We have so much fun, and we have a whole dream channel where people will type in, oh my gosh, I keep dreaming about this. What do y'all think? It's so fun to chat about with all sorts of other fun. We have spells, psychic moments, relationships, memes. We have all these categories.
Oh, we have it all.
It is so fun to chat with just like-minded spiritual witchy babes all day long. We'd love for you to join us. And we also have a really, really juicy coven tier where we meet once a month on Zoom. It's always the last Wednesday of the month. And we do group spells. We do workshops. We do meditations. We connect with each other. It's always just like so fun, so powerful, so meaningful to meet in a group like that. We'd love for you to join us with that too. Make sure you're following our newest venture at bizwitch.inc on Instagram. We're having so much fun with all the things we're creating behind the scenes. It's about to be just juicy as fuck.
Yep.
Up in the Bizwitch world. So make sure you're following us there, especially if you've been dreaming about starting your dream witchy, mystical, spiritual business, a side hustle. We're so excited to support you. And follow us on Instagram at Goddess Hangs. I am Sadie Olson.
I'm at Juliet.Piper.
And we're on TikTok now, baby.
Oh my gosh. TikTok, Facebook, you name it.
At Goddess Hangs, wherever you like to hang out, we're there. Leave us a review on Apple Podcast and send us a screenshot to goddesshangs@gmail.com. We'll send you a little goddess meditation. And thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for being here. We love you.
We love you.
Bye.